Join Gator great Shane Matthews every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about your Florida Gators, including news, analysis, and opinions with some of the biggest names in sports. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Or watch us live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Good morning. It's a live edition of PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the International Diamond Center Studios. Locations across the state of Florida and right there at Celebration Point in the heart of Gator Nation. Go check them out, International Diamond Center Studios. Also, Comfort Temp Heating and Air is your number one local HVAC company. Visit them at comforttemp.com. Got a lot to talk about today. We got NFL, we got college, we got hoops, you name it. We'll have JC here momentarily. Then we'll have Mike Morgan from the SEC Network get his thoughts on college basketball, some of the games he's called. JC, you're on the Take No More hotline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. Your Jags went down, JC.
Well, they were there the whole day. Tough rule. I think the game changed for Jacksonville when they reversed a first down call on Trevor Lawrence heading toward the end zone when they were up 7-3, trying to go up 14-3. And then Buffalo took it 90-something yards and scored to go ahead. Great game. The atmosphere in that place, I don't think I've ever heard it that loud, honestly, and I'm not exaggerating. I've been to a dozen Florida-Georgia games, but that environment and that atmosphere was tremendous, and Josh Allen just does what Josh Allen does. And, he's the best player in the league in terms of, well, that's what I think. I don't know. Some people might argue, but I think he is. And I saw him on full display. He just did not make a mistake. He did not look hampered at all by the ankle. And I think the Jaguars have a lot to be excited about for the future, but that was a hard one to take, and it was a tough loss. But in spite of all the football that we watched, and we'll get to that in a minute, I just want to touch on how promising it looked for the basketball team on Saturday against Tennessee. The more things change, the more things stay the same when it comes to Tennessee coming to Gainesville in basketball and leaving with a complete and utter ass kicking. And I think the thing that really stuck out to me was the fact that they shot basically 30% or so from the 3-point line and made 9 3-pointers, dominated the offensive glass, and scored 91 points. So that was the best game I've seen them play, or at least to me, I think that was the most complete game the Gator basketball team played. It's exactly what you would hope for right now. Yeah,
I didn't get to see it, but
they dominated Tennessee.
Well, I saw the highlights and
dominated.
Yeah, it was a very good win. Boogie Flan had a great day. Chinulu had a great day, and that's why I was not worried. I mean, they're going to eventually make some shots, and they made some yesterday, and I think they'll continue to do that. Going to make shots some nights you aren't.
80% from the free throw line.
Yeah.
41 rebounds. Doubled up Tennessee on the offensive glass. 14 assists. Had only 10 turnovers. 38 points in the paint. It was just a great day for the Gators, and Tennessee just cannot play well here. They've never played well in Gainesville. They never have. I don't remember them ever playing well. Even back in the days of Alligator Alley, Tennessee didn't play well. So it's amazing. So great weekend. But in terms of the football, like you said, QB, we both go 5-1. We both had Indiana. And, the way Indiana's playing, there was an allegation that they're cheating now. People have gotten to the point where Indiana's so good and they look so prepared, and it's almost like they know what the other team is going to do. And so people are saying, they're cheating. Of course this is going to come out of Chris Felica and the Miami Hurricane people. But the reality is that Indiana's just damn good, and they're going to beat Miami.
I think they are too. So we'll talk more about that as the week goes on.
Yeah,
but
sure.
JC and I both went 5-1 this weekend in the picks. I missed the Rams. You missed
the Eagles.
I'm telling you right now.
The Eagles. Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan can dial them up, bro. Good
God.
Yeah,
he really is tremendous, and he's going to have to be even better next week at Seattle. But, they lost Kittle, and that just didn't seem to affect them. It may have, but they still got through it. And defensively, they put the clamps on the Eagles, who have just been really bad offensively for the last 2 months. AJ Brown can't find his way out of a wet paper bag, and their offense is just sputtering. And the 49ers did just enough to win. But I tell you, who was impressive was New England. And then somehow the Chicago Bears scoring 25 points in the fourth quarter just seems normal. I mean, that's just how they win games.
Unfortunately, I'm one of the few people in America that couldn't watch the game because I don't have Prime. I will say though, I saw the highlights.
Oh my God.
And I saw two of the best throws I have ever seen in my lifetime and for the situation. Obviously the Caleb Williams fourth and whatever it was, the throw in midair and launches it, completes it. And then the throw Josh Allen made on their touchdown drive to win the game. If you watch that, a lot of people broke it down on Twitter. Phenomenal. So, but the Bears, great story. They go where they host the Rams. I still think the Rams are the best team in football.
Really?
I do.
Okay.
Well, I mean, just because of one game. I mean, I'm not the only person that thinks that. The so-called NFL experts think they're the best team in football.
Well, look, they had the Seahawks buried and dead a couple weeks ago. Couldn't hold them off, but they are capable when they get motoring and they're healthy. They're hard to deal with, but Seattle is also hard to deal with. And the Bears just won't die. Green Bay had no business losing that game. They were the better team for the majority of that night. And I literally, I think many people fell asleep. I fell asleep and missed the comeback until I woke up and saw that the Bears were celebrating. And I didn't understand what had just happened. I thought Green Bay had that thing locked up. And
well, I didn't get to see any of it because I don't have Prime.
No, Green Bay was dominating them.
No, I know. I saw it was 21-3 on my phone when I went to bed.
No, it's the second time in a row that the Bears have come back at home against the Packers in a month and won a game inexplicably. The first time was in December when they had to recover an onside kick. They did, and then won in overtime. And then this game with 25 points in the fourth quarter, they just won't die. So the Rams better be ready for that. And hopefully the weather won't be too harsh because I don't know about that.
Tighten our text line. Josh and Wamama says, gentlemen, Locked On SEC podcast reported Cam Coleman wanted $3 to $4 million for 1 year. Auburn was at $3 million with incentives. Texas gave him close to $4 million if true. Wow. I mean,
wide receiver.
If somebody's going to pay him that much money, he needs to get it because he ain't going to make that in the NFL. Again, there's heart. If you look at the 52-man roster on these playoff teams, out of the 52, JC, probably 35 of them are making less than $1 million.
I know. It's we've got pro football. We've got 2 professional football leagues going, and it's I guess what college wants. This is how they've set up themselves, and in spite of what the legalities of it all are, if you don't pay the money, then the kid can't take it, and yet nobody's gonna not get involved, it seems like, to get these players. So right now that's what we have is it's a wild market out there. And
Art wants to know, since I don't have Prime, he asked, do I order packages? I don't, Art. I don't think I've ever ordered anything from Amazon.
And you know what? I haven't either, bro, but the women love it. I mean,
oh my God. I got buddies of mine that they're ready to kill their wives. Swamp Fuel says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing. QB, what kind of system does Signetti run at Indiana? I would say it's kind of a pro style offense. Just the quarterback is just outstanding. Outstanding.
He is.
Chris and Mike on the Titan of our text line says the offense this year is going to be fun to watch. We had studs at skills and the O-line is being built. Yeah, I wanted to bring that up because I had another text here on the Titan of our text line, JC, from Jimmy. Jimmy says, let me pull it up here. He says, Napier took 42 kids from the portal in 4 years. We have taken 20 in the last 9 days. I absolutely love what they have done from an offensive standpoint. They're bringing dudes from Penn State on the O-line and Georgia Tech on the O-line, okay?
Yeah.
Maulers.
Yes.
The skill guys, they just added the the kid that used to be at Georgia Tech, Singleton, that went to Auburn.
Yeah.
I think he's clearly our best wide receiver on our roster right now.
I agree.
My goodness. So should be a lot of fun.
And you mentioned those Penn State offensive linemen. I saw those guys up at close and personal when I went to Columbus, and they are maulers. That's a great word to describe them. And it just shows you what a bum Napier was. He's a bum. And that this guy that we have today, Summerall, just seems to have it so much more together to me. And nothing's really happened other than just these acquisitions, essentially. That's all that's happened. We don't know if these guys, when they play, what it's all going to be like, but we can assume that it's going to be pretty damn good and much better than what we saw that bum show us for the last 4 years. So,
Electronics World Integration Design Specialist, Smart Home Automation and Entertainment. Let Electronics World bring the Florida Gators basketball in the NFL to your living room. Electronics World.
Yeah, they're all going crazy about Chinye Lu. Everybody loves Chinye Lu. He is so much more improved from last year, according to Barone, and that is accurate. And Franklin Hall, 9640. Chinye Lu is a beast. And it just makes Thomas Hogg's job and Condon's job easier. And it just makes Florida a really load to deal with in the front court. So I think it's great. And he had a big day against Tennessee. This kind of stuff travels, and you want big guys. And I know we always preach about guard play, guard play, guard play. That's how you win championships, and it's true. But if your front court sucks, you got and can't run, then you got problems against big teams like Arizona and Gonzaga and things like that. So it's good to see, right, QB? I mean, Chinye Lu.
Yeah.
Chinye Lu.
Toby on YouTube brought by Quad Quiz. How do you think Indiana's front seven will do against Miami's big offensive line? I think they'll be fine. They're good, man. Yeah. They're really good.
Indiana just embarrassed another team. I mean, tell me right now, QB, how in the hell did Iowa lose by 2 and Penn State basically beat them? How? What is the difference in that team and the team we're watching just destroy people right now? What's the difference?
Because, JC, you're not going to play – you're not going to destroy people every week.
Right. It's called a conference.
The other team I like to tell the other team has coaches and players too that make plays.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, try to tell me how the Panthers were even in that game the other day.
Yeah. Well, they did beat the Rams the first time.
Right. But this text on the Titan More text says Coach Sum wants to win now, not develop a process for a process.
Hell yeah.
He wants to win now. And they are, I absolutely love what they've done in the portal. Love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Gator Ray on the Titan More text line says, are teams going for it too much on 4th down now? Not sure analytics take potential momentum shifts into the equation. The Rams are up 17-7 in the second quarter, failed, and it appeared to wake up the Panthers. Yeah, the Rams could have kicked a field goal before the half.
They don't like
Jags were up 7-3 against the Bills. What are your thoughts on this? I think there's certain times of a game when you might want to go for it, but what game was I watching yesterday? It wasn't the Jags. It was the 49ers. It was the first drive the Eagles had. They had the ball at midfield. It was like 4th and 3, and they go for it, and the Niners stop them. I don't understand that.
It's Lane Kiffinitis. And the thing is that when you start chasing points in the first quarter, I think you're making a mistake. And I think we've preached this, QB, and we're not coaches. I mean, you can be, and you are. I'm not, but I think it's just decent common sense. You don't chase points in the first quarter, QB. You just if there's 3 to take it. It's going to come back and haunt you later in the game, and that's what happens. I mean, it's just now. Listen, Jacksonville ran a good play. We thought that Trevor made the first down. The review showed his knee was down and the ball was that short or whatever. I mean, we've gotten so technical with our markings of where the ball is. And again, my biggest pet peeve is when the side judge runs 8 yards and then takes a right turn to mark the ball. It's hard to be accurate that way, and they need a guy at the stick, but that's just me. And
they do. The side judges are at the sticks, JC.
I don't think so, QB. They're at the line of scrimmage, are they not?
Well, they move with the ball a little bit. All right, oh crap, it went away. I got to read this one. Hang on. Let me pull it back up. I got to pull it up. It's on Facebook. And Facebook goes away on the computer. You have to pull it up on your phone. That's the only way you can scroll. Don't know why. It's dumb. All right, so JC.
Yeah.
Listen to this.
Okay.
Where is it? Live radio. Nigel says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law, are you guys concerned about only having 3 quarterbacks on the roster? Do you think we need at least one more?
No.
Nigel, only one can play.
No.
I'm not. They actually have four. They have Tramel Jones Jr., they have Aaron Philo, they have Will Griffin who's coming in, and Aiden Warner is still there.
Okay.
So no.
I mean, didn't you have when you hit the scene? Wasn't there 3 or 4 on
No,
your?
when I was on the court, when I was there, it was like 7.
There was a lot.
There was too many. I think
Yeah.
you can have too many quarterbacks.
Yeah, there's too
Only
many.
one could play.
No, I think we're fine right there. Clint wants to know: is this one of the best teams? Indiana, being one of the best teams they've ever seen. If they beat Miami, I guess you could make the case. Look, they're 23, 24-year-old guys playing against these college kids. They're an older team, they are, but would they beat the 2019 LSU Tigers or the 2020 Alabama Crimson Tide or the 2001 Miami Hurricanes? I don't know that. I mean,
I think when you look at what they've done, it's been very, very impressive. I think the story of Indiana could be one of the best ever.
But
I wouldn't call them one of the best teams ever, because when you look at the best teams ever, you look at, like,
I just told you
whether it's right or wrong, how many All-Americans, how many guys go play in the National Football League and things of that nature.
Yeah, and Indiana's been created by the system that we have today in football. It's been created differently, and that's fine. Those are the rules, and that's the way it's played. But it wasn't the classic build the team up, develop the players over time, blah, blah, blah. It's been basically put together in 1 year or 2, and now here they are about to win a national championship. Now they have to win at Miami, and that's going to be tough because Miami's going to play well, I think. I really do. And they have a lot of players, man. They're very talented. So I think it's going to set up to be a fantastic game. It's a week from today. We still have to wait through the weekend because of the NFL playoffs. They will not compete with that. So they're going to play it on Monday night, QB.
Andy on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mount Law, says, QB, I've always watched Stafford with my orange and blue glasses on. My God, that final drive, he was so damn accurate. Mendoza's going to be in the NFL a long time. He's also pinpoint accurate. Yes. I mean, Jason, you remember when we were doing radio?
Yeah, I do.
And remember how I got crucified on the air?
You did.
Because when I said Matthew Stafford would play in the NFL a lot longer than Tim Tebow.
Tim Tebow, yes, you were getting buried. I remember exactly that time when we were on radio doing that. And you just were absolutely dead on right. I mean, he's a Hall of Fame player. Josh Allen is headed that way. And when you give these guys the ball, Patrick Mahomes, same thing. You give them the ball, you're winning. You're going to win. And so that's what happened twice. I mean, we saw it happen with Indiana. With Buffalo. We saw it happen with the Rams. And that's just who they are. They're Hall of Famers. And you're lucky if you have one. Damn lucky.
This Day in Sports brought to you by
Caleb Williams is heading that way.
Castaway Hot Sauce. Hot sauce with real flavor, not just heat and vinegar. Built by Gators for Gators. Castaway Hot Sauce. It's available at Publix. Jason,
it's crazy to me, QB. It's crazy to me how in 1 year, Caleb Williams with Ben Johnson.
Can you hold that thought and let me read This Day in Sports?
Go ahead, read this day.
This is fascinating to me. In 1992, the highest scoring NCAA basketball game happened. This is obviously before Troy became like Division I. They were called the Troy State Trojans back then.
Damn right.
They defeated DeVry Hoyas 258 to 149 in a game. I don't know how that's possible. But this Day in Sports brought
nobody
you by
guarded it.
Hot Sauce.
Yeah.
All right, so what is your thought, JC?
Oh, well, my thought is just amazing how in 1 year, Caleb Williams is a totally different player because of a coach like Ben Johnson. And yes, Caleb Williams.
Yeah, but I told you could watch Caleb Williams in college and you knew he was going to be good.
Well, he was lost last year, but I don't think he had anybody to help him. But UF Gators, UF is right. Alabama has the same opportunity to build as Indiana. It's just that Kurt Cignetti in 2 years, what he's done in Indiana is unprecedented. He's 26-2, something like that. It's nuts, and they're probably going to win Monday. I mean, he's a great player. There's no doubt. But Ben Johnson changes everything. And then you get a GM that actually knows how to assemble talent around that quarterback to help him. And voila, you're now playing in the division round of the playoffs. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, he's a generational guy.
He's great. I mean, he's just done amazing things. He just looked so lost, as were the Bears a year ago.
Well, I don't even know who was the coach of the Bears, who coached them last year.
Well,
there's multiple coaches
Yeah.
in the National Football League, the
Yeah.
greatest league in the world,
Right.
that have zero business coaching.
There you go. And
I
Maddie,
can't tell you how many times I used to sit in meetings and go,
what?
what in the hell is this guy talking about?
You tell you, if you wanted to, if you have insomnia, watching the Chargers play is one way to cure it. And that game last night was
Well,
dominating.
okay. So do you know who calls the plays for the Chargers?
Yeah, well, it's not Harbaugh, but
No, his name is Greg Roman. Okay.
Greg Roman, right?
He was with Harbaugh in Michigan a little bit, or with the 49ers, I should say. When I was with the Carolina Panthers in 97 and 98,
Yeah.
when you get on the bus, JC, to go to the airport or whatever, they usually have guys that are like interns in the weight room. That John Cornell, he's on the bus, check him off. That's what Greg Roman was doing when I played for the 49ers. I mean, for the Panthers. Okay.
Well,
And then here's another thing. You know, the offensive coordinator for the Panthers when I played was a guy named Gil Haskell, older gentleman, nice guy, great guy.
mhm.
Came through the 49ers Bill Walsh system.
Okay.
So when I signed with the Panthers, Coach Spurrier, I was back here in Gainesville. He asked, who's your offensive coordinator? I said, Gil Haskell. He goes, Gil Haskell. Gil Haskell used to be the manager when I played for the 49ers. He used to wash our clothes.
I'm
So
not saying you can't learn, but you're right. These guys.
that's my point.
That's a good point.
I mean, that would be like my buddy Pee Wee, who's the head, who was my manager, quarterback manager, calling plays for the freaking Bears right now. It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Well, that makes me laugh. This is funny. It's great though. It's amazing how you can move up through the system. Obviously,
You can move up. Andy asked on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel. Shane Brady was talking about different grips when playing in windy conditions. Did you change your grip, Chicago? Andy, when I played and it was windy as hell, I tried anything I could to complete a pass. You do try to change different things. I never really thought about it, but you do. You grip that thing and try to get it out.
Yeah.
Throw completion somehow. Brady was pretty good at it though.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I'd say he's quite good. The Fighting Gators play tomorrow night, so I'm not on tomorrow. I think you have Buddy Martin. So I just wanted to share that Oklahoma can be had, and that's a 9 o'clock game, folks. So take a nap if you want to watch Todd.
Is it at home or away?
No, it's over there in the Central Time Zone. It's in.
Yeah, be careful. Oklahoma's, they can score.
I mean, Porter does. What's his name? Porter. Their coach.
Porter Mosier.
Yeah, Mosier. Mike Morgan would know. So, yeah, Oklahoma. Yeah, I mean, they're obviously better at home, but they can be had. This is a good game, I think. Good test for the Gators coming off these big wins they've had in the last two games. So I'm not going to be on tomorrow, but I think Florida can take them. If Florida is anywhere near an even money bet, I'm going to take them. Gators.
Okay. Be careful on the road. Silent J on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing. It's a shame Bud Davis, I don't know who Bud Davis is, claims that Indiana's cheating is absurd.
Yeah, that's what
Data analytics are vital, however, difficult to measure. Coaching schemes, technique, discipline, heart culture. What SIG is doing is amazing.
It is.
Yeah. So what are they?
So I was reading this on Yahoo. It's on Yahoo. You've got the Bear, Chris Felica, bellyaching about how, there are rumors, nothing substantiated, that they basically have been, they know what these other teams are doing because they were somehow infiltrating the cloud and reading where these teams park their game plans and their plays and so forth. It's just so desperate, it sounds like to me. But it is funny in their minds. The statement is, how are they this good against two very, well put together teams? And really, there's nothing in the way that can get in. There's nothing that's going to be able to get in their way. They could beat the Jets. That's what we're hearing. So I don't know. It was on Yahoo. I was just reading it, and I know what he's referring to, but I don't believe any of it.
Yeah, I don't know. Greg's question on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law. Did Harbaugh eventually learn how to read defenses as a pro? I don't know. I was only there 1 year with Harbaugh, and I was
quarterback.
Yeah, but he knew out of my 14 years in the league, he knew less than anybody I ever been around. It blew me away. I was like, how do you not know this? He used to say he'd drop back, look at one guy. If he wasn't open, he'd run. That's what he used to tell me.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
He did have success as a quarterback, right?
he was a pretty good player, but he
Yeah.
literally didn't know what he was doing. I mean, JC, you got to understand, like, if they do this coverage, I'm going here. If they roll the coverage here, I'm going there. If they bring these two guys on this blitz, where am I? He didn't know any of that. He was a very, very athletic, gifted player, but mentally either didn't care
Or he just
or
wasn't
just did
there.
it his own way.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a quarterback who wanted to run down on kickoffs. That tells you all you need to know, right?
He's
How
a
many
weird
quarterbacks
guy.
can do that?
Yeah. He's a strange fella. But
Tim also wants to know, or Tim on Facebook Live wants to know, is Kirby going to the NFL? I don't know why he would. He's got it made there in Athens.
Yeah. The grass is definitely not greener for Kirby in the NFL, in my opinion. Of course, I don't know anything. But I do know, according to Steely Dean, that yes, Napier was a bum. He was a bum. And his record showed it. Nice guy, whatever. Don't care about that. Just ruined the program. But this guy, Summerall, is picking the pieces up. I think it's going to be fantastic. And you can't get much worse than 4-8. So that's a good deal to start from. And the schedule next year, I think, is going to be much more compatible to a new coach, new team, new players, new world, new life, new outlook, new everything. It's going to be good. The schedule is going to be much more compatible, I think, to a winning record. Yeah.
JC, who do you like in the game tonight?
I think it's definitely the Houston Texans. I don't think Pittsburgh is going to score many points. But Pittsburgh at home getting 3, I tell you, if you see that line sneak up to 4 or 3.5 to 4, it might be hard not to take the Steelers, but I think Houston wins because I just think their defense is overwhelming. They will overwhelm Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh is somewhat limited, even though DJ Metcalf is going to play in this game. His suspension is over. That does help Pittsburgh. But if CJ Stroud just doesn't screw up, and he's not played well in the last couple of games, but they've won in spite of it. If CJ Stroud gets to Nico Collins, if they could get the ball to Nico Collins and just have a semblance of offense, that defense is good enough to beat the Steelers. So I'm going to take Houston.
I like CJ Stroud. I like their offense.
Oh, I like him too, but he hasn't played well in the last couple of games. He just hasn't. But that they should win tonight, but that doesn't mean they are. And I think DJ Metcalf does help Pittsburgh on the offensive side, but I don't think it's going to matter. Houston locks them down. They are that good on defense.
All right, last thing here. Franklin asked on YouTube, brought to you by Collie Plumbing, who's going to be the coach at Mississippi? Pete Golding is their head coach.
Full time.
Yep, their offensive coordinator is John David Baker from East
That's
Carolina.
right.
He's really good.
And they're not. And so the quarterback's on appeal now. He's appealed. Trinidad.
Yeah, I thought somebody said it got denied.
Trinidad.
I'm not sure. I know they signed Deuce Knight, who is from the state of Mississippi, probably the highest recruited quarterback to ever come out of the state. Initially, I think signed with Notre Dame, but then changed it and went to Auburn last year.
Yeah, played Auburn.
He's a lefty, very athletic kind of guy.
I think he'll do fine. I think he'll do fine, but I hope they give Trinidad another year. But we'll see. I doubt they will. I mean,
I saw here. I don't know who is in charge of like signing off on these appeals, but Brad Johnson's kid, Max Johnson,
he did win.
Is going to play in his 7th year at like his 5th different school. Makes no sense to me.
That's math. That's madness. That's madness. That's crazy. It's just.
I cannot believe how they let these people play 7 years in college football.
Right. Yeah. Well, the COVID thing is one reason why, and then of course
that went away. I mean, they can't use that as an excuse anymore.
Yeah. Well, I don't know the answer to that question. I just remember. What was it? Stan White of Auburn. He seemed to play for about 15 years.
No, that was back in the day. He played there. He had his legitimate years of eligibility.
You love Stan White. You're Stan White.
I like Stan.
Yeah.
All right, JC, we got to get to Mike Morgan. Have a great day.
All right, love Mike Morgan. Let's go. All right.
Let's JC join us on the Titan Number Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. Quick timeout. We'll have Mike Morgan from the SEC Network join us. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the Morning from the International Diamond Center Studios. We'll be right back.
Our premium sponsors are Atlantic Roofing, Campus USA Credit Union, International Diamond Center, J.F. Hayden's Craft Liqueurs, Los Linderos Tequila, Meldon Law, Titan MRI and Imaging, Castaway Sauce, UF Health Orthopedics. Gridiron sponsors are Baker Sports, Comfort Temp, Florida Cracker Oyster, Electronics World, Gallo Car Wash, Miapa Latin Cafe, Peachland Dental, Quality Plumbing, Ruse Ogre State Farm, Silverback Concrete, 84 Lumber, Big Mills Cheesesteaks, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Florida Cracker Kitchen, Gator Dominoes, Ironwood Golf Course, McDonald's of Gainesville, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, UF Bookstores, Advocare, MG&A Wealth. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And to advertise, call my man Freddie, 352-284-3733.
On April 7th, 2025, Gator Nation reached the mountaintop as Florida won the national championship in basketball. Now, relive every thrilling moment with Franz Beard's new book, The Golden Season, the unforgettable story behind Florida's historic 2025 title run. Feel the passion, the drama, and the glory all over again. Available now at Spurriers.com. Click the shop tab. That's Spurriers.com.
Hi there, this is Coach Steve Spurrier, and I want to let you know that by popular demand, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill's delicious brunch is now served in a premium buffet. You have spoken, we have listened, and we're now serving Gainesville's only elevated buffet, complete with an omelet station, ginger sage chicken sausage, shredded short rib, plus you can enjoy bottomless mimosas and Bloody Marys. So join us every Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 3 for the best brunch in town.
What's up, everyone? I'm Mike Pouncey, and this is my twin brother Marquise Pouncey, and this is Life After Football.
Let's go. We are the owners of Tropical Distillery, and JF Hayden's is our liqueur brand.
We have 5 different flavors: a mango, a lychee, an espresso, citrus, and key lime pie. We pride ourselves on not only being a Florida-made brand, but also a cocktail solution. With that being said, cheers
And go Gators.
Welcome back to the International Diamond Center Studios. Gallo Car Wash is locally owned by UF alum and the only car wash that provides NIL opportunities to Gator athletes. Locations on Northwest 13th Street, Wilson Road, and coming soon to Jonesville. Back to the Tag No More Hotline. Courtesy of Comfort Temp, our man Mike Morgan from the SEC Network, who is logging a lot of frequent flyer miles right now. What's up, my man?
Yeah, man. Good morning, Shane. Yeah, it's one of those 3 games in 5 days stretches, kind of like an NBA stretch. You know, you go on the West Coast and you play a bunch of games, stay at a bunch of hotels. You know, there's worse ways to live, that's for sure. But had the Ole Miss win against Missouri on Saturday. Today I'll be traveling to Lawrence, Kansas to do Kansas-Iowa State. Iowa State, one of the few undefeateds left. It's the first game I've done in Allen Fieldhouse in nearly 15 years. I can't wait for that one. That'll be on the Elite Media Network. And then the next day will be in Fayetteville for Arkansas against South Carolina on the SEC Network. So going to be exploring the what we used to call Big 12/SEC Western Division country, but now everything's all jumbled and it's just SEC, and of course Kansas and Iowa State, they're still in the Big 12.
Yep, 2 very good teams. Question for you from Alan on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law. Does Mike think we can hang with anybody if our guards continue to show improvement? Talking about Gator hoops.
Absolutely. Look, Florida's front court is clearly one of the best in the country. I mean, that goes without saying. I think, especially with Chinulu picking up his game, Hauk is playing like a lottery pick, and you know Condon is still a very athletic big that can cause havoc in a game. So when you look at that, if you just have some type of quality, not even elite, but quality guard play, you know, you could play with anybody. Florida can play with anybody in the SEC, and if you can play with anybody in the SEC, you can just about play with anybody in the country. You know, look, there's not a Walter Clayton there, but Boogie Fland, when he's on, looks like a 5-star, which is what he was coming out of high school. And obviously, when you have a game like you did Saturday, and it all comes together, particularly at home, you know, Florida's nearly unbeatable at that point. So it's a team. Somebody asked, I think last week, when Florida was struggling a little bit. Did I think Florida was an NCAA tournament team? And my answer was 100%. I mean, there's no way this team's not going to the tournament. It's just a matter of do they have enough to defend a national championship and perhaps go back to back. It's a little bit different than the 06, 07 back to back, because that was the same identical starting five with many of the same guys coming off the bench. This is different. I mean, you lost your top four guards. That's almost unheard of to do that and still maintain a level of dominance. But if anybody can do it, Todd Golden and this bunch can.
Franklin says Michigan got upset. I didn't even realize that. I didn't watch a whole lot of hoops this weekend.
Yeah.
They got beat. Who beat them?
Wisconsin.
Really?
Wisconsin. Yeah. I've got Michigan, Ohio State later on. I mean, Michigan is still, they're incredibly good and have a hell of a coach. You've got some really good coaching stories going on out there. Of course, everybody's familiar with the Michigan coach because he coached at FAU. For that matter, he's a former Florida assistant. How about the mayor and Fred Hoiberg doing what he's doing at Nebraska? Mm-hmm. I remember when Fred Hoiberg led Iowa State to an upset win over the Gators team in '95. I was still a student covering that team, and that was my introduction to Fred Hoiberg. And he knocked off the team with Dan Cross and DeClerc and all those guys. I think it was in the second round, but he's always been a great coach. He tried the NBA and didn't work like most college coaches that try the NBA. And then he lands at Nebraska, and people just forgot about him because nobody ever wins at Nebraska. But they're having a hell of a season, and he might be the coach of the year right now in the sport.
Speaking of Fred Hoiberg, talking about old school basketball players, the Gators, switching gears a little bit here to football. I just want to tip my hat to John Summerall, his staff. I love what we've done in the portal, Mike.
Yeah.
But we just remember Matt Harpring?
Of course. Georgia
we got
Tech.
his son. His son's coming to play tight end for the Gators.
How about that? Really athletic family.
I probably should have checked on this, but I'm about 100% sure it is his son. Somebody can help me here, but we got a lot of Georgia Tech offensive linemen. We got a lot of Penn State linemen. We got a lot of good wideouts, but my favorite pick of the whole deal is Eric Singleton. I think he's the best receiver on our roster.
Yes. And it was one of the many reasons why the Auburn coaching staff got fired. They spent all that money to get him.
Yeah.
And a lot of teams, I know for a fact, Ole Miss really wanted him, and they just got outbid. They spent all this money to get him, and he is a complete. I don't like doing comps. Let me just give you a Gator comp off the top of my head. He's got a little bit of Kadarius Toney in him. Mm-hmm. If you get him the ball he's undersized, but if you get him the ball in space, he is a dynamo. Well, Auburn never got him the ball in space.
Right.
I mean, it was just, I had Auburn twice last year, and it's like he wasn't even on the field. And I'm just thinking to myself, what are they doing? Why did you bring this kid in and spend all this money if you're not going to give him touches? But I'm with you. If you go back to a couple of years ago at Tech, the reason why everybody wanted him in the portal is because if you can get him the ball in space, he's electric. And there's just only so many players that can make the kind of plays that he can. So that's a terrific pickup.
Yeah. Sticking with football here, Johnny on the Titanamar text line, what's your thoughts on what Indiana continues to do, and do you like their chances against Miami?
I gave up betting against Indiana a long time ago. So when everybody was telling me Oregon should beat Indiana in the rematch, I was like, no, I'm going Indiana. Look, they are the ultimate just smoke and mirrors. How in the world do they do it? Mendoza's a really good college quarterback. I don't care what he projects as a pro, and I know some people are like, well, he looks like a fourth-round pick to me. That's fine. In college, he's a surgeon out there. Every throw is on target, precise. When he has to run, he's not a great runner, but he will run. He's a willing runner. He's obviously the engine that makes him go. But the guys that really impress me about that team are the receivers, the Surratt kid and Charlie Becker. And Surratt's one of those guys from JMU. They got 5 guys that start, not just on the roster, that actually start, that played at JMU, that are still left. And the Charlie Baker kid came from Nashville, Tennessee. I mean, I'm assuming programs like Vanderbilt recruited him. I don't know for sure, but both those dudes are just that. They're dudes. Like they're not just run-of-the-mill, slow guys that can't get open. They're really good players. So, and their running back is good. He's another JMU guy. How they get it done on defense, I can't name 3 players for you from their defense. I just know this. They swarm, they get to the ball, they tackle. They're not getting beat up on the line. And that's where this game starts for me, Shane. Miami, to me, I said this after doing the FSU game, there's no more talented team in America, and they have the best trenches team in America, offensive line, defensive line. How does Indiana hold up against their trenches? Because even really good teams wilted against that Miami O-line, D-line. If they can just keep that a stalemate, I think Indiana wins the game.
I do too. And I mean, Ohio State, they have a pretty good offensive line. And I think Indiana handled them. I'm not saying they're going to handle Miami, but you said it. Indiana does so many little things well. And it's stuff that doesn't show up in the box score, right? Or, just doing your assignment. If you're supposed to hit this gap and have your head on the left, on the outside, on this technique, they do it. And it forces the ball inside. Or they have their guys setting the edge properly. Just all the little things they do. I like the Hoosiers. I like the quarterback a lot. I think they have a huge advantage at the quarterback position. I know Carson Beck played a lot of football. He's made some plays here and there, but I'll take Mendoza over him.
I will too. I will say this: Beck on that last drive for Miami, he was money, and that's why they paid him $4 million plus. They didn't pay him $4 million plus to lead the country in passing, because he's not going to do that. They didn't pay him $4 million plus to not throw interceptions, because he's always going to have a game or two where he vomits on his shoes. But they paid him for the experience and to help just kind of fill out what's already a really loaded group. And it paid off for them. I mean, they continue to make the right. Miami's become a portal program. I mean, obviously, like the Tony kid, no relation to Kadarius. He's a stud, and he's your typical South Florida 305 area code, like just speed and creativity galore. But really, if you go and you watch what Cristobal and them have done to turn this thing around, it's predominantly guys they've gotten in the portal, which is predominantly where we are in college football, where it seems like everybody's kind of a portal program.
Andy's question for you, Mike, on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon Law. What was your take on the crazy finish of the Auburn A&M game that you called last week?
Nuts. I had a officiating friend of mine text me just yesterday and said, Mike, you're not going to believe this. I talked to one of the refs, and they said they're the little thing that is attached to them that automatically stops the clock and what have you, that it was a 1/10 of a second off. So on top of all the other madness, I don't know if that will make the waves, but it was crazy. I've been asked 1,000 different times, do you think they got it right? It's really hard for me to say, because the angle that they used, they being the officiating crew in Birmingham, was different than the one that we were able to see on TV. The one that we saw on TV looked like he got it off in time. It also didn't just look like. The clock at one point on the scoreboard showed 0.0. On the side of the arena that we could see right in front of us, when the ball left his hand, it said 0.1. So somehow those two things were not synced up. It was utterly bizarre. And on top of that, there were things within that game. A&M went on an 11-0 run in 28 seconds. When's the last time you saw that? The whole second half, the bigger story was they came back and went on a 35-6 run. So it's not like they won that game on a fluke or on a bad call. But I think the officials got it right. I think he was just the officials on the court called it a made basket. So let's start there. It had to be indisputable to overturn that call, and they must have had an angle that said 1,000%. He did not get it off. It was touching the fingers. He was 0.1 late, and therefore they got it right.
So speaking of the league, the biggest surprises right now would be Vanderbilt and A&M.
Yes, Vanderbilt. I think it's hard for a lot of people to. Vanderbilt's almost like Indiana football, right? Like they don't have a bunch of first-round draft picks on that Vanderbilt squad. Tyler Tanner's a really special college player, but he's small and he's undersized, and I don't know if he is an NBA prospect, quite frankly. McLaughlin, he's their big guy, but he's not like explosive. He's not like a lottery pick. They're doing it with just really good, effective, and efficient college players and an outstanding coach who also came from JMU, by the way, same time Signetti was there, and Coach Byington. But they are a surprise to be undefeated at this point in top 10, absolutely. And Bucky Ball, and I've been a Bucky McMillan guy for a while. What he's done at A&M in short order, that team has no business being 3-0 in SEC play. They're completely undersized. They had one big man that they got in the portal. He's out for the year. And so they are playing with, if you watch them in person, I don't know if Florida plays them in Gainesville or in College Station, but actually I do know because I was almost on that game before they had to pull me off it. It's in College Station. But when you look at them in person, you won't believe how small they are compared to another SEC team. But they just outplay people. It's a unique brand of ball, and it works. And when he gets his players in there, I'm telling you right now, Texas A&M is going to be a problem for a while.
I agree with that 100%. Text on the Titan Mar text line from Gary. He says, Mike, two-part question. Who do you like in the rest of the NFL playoffs, and who do you think the Falcons hire?
I'm laughing at the second question because if I knew what Arthur Blank was going to do, I'd go cash in a winning lottery ticket. He hasn't done much that's made a lick of sense. It's been one of the most poorly run franchises now for a while. The clown show that was their GM and head coach, watching that unfold over the last couple of years was pretty hard for Falcon fans. So they did what they should have done. They cleaned house, and they're trying to make the right move now. I mean, to me, if I have an NFL opening, I'm hiring John Harbaugh. I still can't believe the Ravens fired him. That to me is I'm just like, are you kidding me? I would hire John Harbaugh in 2 seconds. And the Falcons have a reputation of being cheap when it comes to hiring coaches. I don't know why. Like, you're a billionaire. You own Home Depot. You're spending all this money on everything else. Why would you go cheap on the head coach? But they have. And they haven't gotten it right in a while. And so, to me, it's a no-brainer. You hire John Harbaugh, but I don't expect the Falcons to do what they should do. In terms of the rest of the NFL postseason, I'm not a Bills fan, but I so badly want them to win it with Josh Allen. It's his time, but they have to go on the road. They don't have a very good defense. I don't know if they will. I don't know if they could keep winning games like this where Josh Allen is just like Superman and, running over 300-pound defensive linemen and making clutch throws. I don't know if they're the best team. In the NFC, I still think the Rams are the most talented. I know they made it interesting against the Panthers, but correct me if I'm wrong. Did they not get to play at home next week?
Rams?
If so, yeah.
Rams have to go to Chicago.
Oh, that's right. That's right. And I think it's going to be like 18 degrees. Okay. Well, forget that pick. Oh my goodness. That's the thing, Shane. Like, there's not a dominating team. Like, who is the best just team on paper this year? We have no Pat Mahomes. That was always the safe pick, right? I honestly don't know who I really want to predict to win it. I know who I want to win it, but who do you like? Who's your pick to go all the way? Do you want to take your Bears or what?
Well, no, I've said throughout the course of the entire NFL season, I thought the Rams were the best team. I absolutely
Yeah,
love Stafford. I love McVay. I think he's as good as anybody that out there. But
agreed.
Seattle continues to win games. They have home field advantage. I don't know if that's going to make a
Hmm.
difference. I'm a big Josh Allen. I love Buffalo. I'm kind of pulling for Buffalo to win it all. But it's the NFL, man. You just don't know. I mean, the Bears, what they're doing is incredible. They
It
keep
is.
coming from behind.
Caleb's growing up.
Yeah.
Caleb is turning into something before our eyes, and he's not just physically gifted. He's always been, from what I've been told from people that have covered him in the draft, he's always been a cerebral guy that gets things really quickly, which, as you know, is a huge part of the game that people just don't like to talk about, but it is a huge part of the quarterback position. Um, but it's really hard for me to find a team that I'm in love with this year in the NFL. By the way, I was listening earlier. I forgot you played for the Panthers.
Yep,
I totally forgot that. So, I did their preseason games for 5 years, and you were talking about staff guys. You remember Charlie Dayton, don't you?
Yeah.
Charlie was their media guy for years and years. Just a class act and one of the best. But Charlie used to take care of us and, getting ready for games and whatnot. But I forgot you were in Charlotte for a couple of years. So that would have been
it was me. It was 97, 98 Dom Capers. It was me, Steve Berline, and Kerry Collins were the three quarterbacks.
And Kerry Collins.
We had some good times. We played a lot of golf. That was a good little quarterback golf outing.
Well, Berline, that hasn't stopped for Berline. That's what he still does. When he's on the road to call a game, he's always got the golf clubs.
Yeah.
And Kerry Collins was one of those guys so physically gifted. You just kind of thought he could be better than he was. I'm not saying he was bad. He had a solid career, but didn't you think he had a chance to be something elite with that physical skill set?
Yeah, he was enormous. Big guy, great guy. He had some issues, and he got all that figured out. And I'm pretty sure now he's been living in Nashville for several years, and he's a songwriter, believe it or not.
Oh, cool! I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah. So,
Very
Mike,
cool.
before we let you go, kind of let everybody know your kind of schedule again for the games you're calling this week.
Sure. Yeah, so with Elite Media Network, same network that we did all those national football broadcasts, we have a great basketball schedule. Games at Kansas, at Duke, at Carolina, and like I said, tomorrow night, Iowa State, the Cyclones, still undefeated, at Kansas, who, when Darren Peterson is playing, they're really good. The problem is he's been in and out of the lineup for them, banged up. But that'll be at Allen Fieldhouse. That'll be tomorrow night, I believe, 9 o'clock Eastern time. You can catch it on EliteMediaNetwork.com or all the affiliates across the country. And then Wednesday night, I'll be in Fayetteville to see John Calipari's Razorbacks. It still feels a little bit weird saying that. They'll be at home against the Gamecocks, who've been playing hard, nearly pulled off an upset against Georgia, did pick up a win against LSU. But they're going to be outmanned in this one. They're just going to have to outshoot them. At the end of the day, that's the one equalizer we have in basketball, as you know, Shane. If you don't have the talent, you just got to shoot the ball better on one given night and try and pull off an upset that way.
Very true. Mike, good stuff as always. Safe travels. We'll talk to you next week, my man.
Okay, Shane. Enjoyed it. We'll talk soon.
Yep, that's Mike Morgan joining us on the Titanmore Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. Real quick, Franklin wants to know on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, which NFL city has the best golf course? I don't know the answer to that. I only played golf whatever city I was in for that team. It's not, we don't load up our golf clubs on away trips and go play golf. We fly in, spend the night, play the game, fly right back. So don't know the answer to that. Appreciate everybody chiming in. Again, thanks to JC and Mike Morgan for joining us on the program today. Injuries occur whenever and however, and it's never convenient for sprains, strains, or minor fractures. UF Health Orthocare makes it convenient for you 7 days a week, including evenings, and walk-ins are welcome. That's UF Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Have a great day, folks. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.